Kurt talks a lot about believing in his guys, especially the starting lineup. Won championship not too long ago. Having patience, letting guys kind of find their game. How aware are you of that kind of patience, and how much do you value it?
What do you want me to bench me?
No. It's like that's.
You want to bench Wiggs?
I don't think I said that.
I mean, you can suggest it. It's fine. Thanks, Steve, I guess. Like, I don't know. Sometimes you earn these things like patience and time to find yourself. And I think history is on our side when it comes to that stuff.
You say that. Have you heard people say that, or?
No, I don't care what people say. Like, they don't do what we do. They can't do what they do. That's why they talk. Why would I? Like, come on. I don't care what people say at this point in my life. Next question.
I'm gonna be completely honest, I have no idea how to start this video, because in a game that should have been one of the Warriors' most dominant wins in recent memory, they instead reached a new low by 1, blowing the game, and 2, getting eliminated from the in-season tournament at the same time, which I honestly don't even really care about at this point. I don't even think that half the people watching really understand it, because it is extremely confusing. Why is point differential so key instead of just head-to-head records? But I digress. After building a 24-point lead in the first half, a half in which could be described as one of, if not their best half of the calendar year of 2023, they somehow still found a way to blow this. And it started at the end of the first half with this incredible sequence by the two-time MVP, and the Kings would end up trimming what was once a 24-point lead down to 17 before half. And the third quarter is when everything starts to unravel. Now, it is worth noting that even though the Kings tried to make several runs during this quarter, the Warriors still held a 16-point lead with 2 minutes left in the quarter. So this is just something that shouldn't have happened, but at the same time, it's the Sacramento Kings, and so you kind of live with them going on a run to end the quarter, but you need to bounce back. And the fourth quarter starts, which is where the absolute masterclass actually begins. The fourth quarter starts with this Moses Moody dunk coming off of a Steph Curry trap from half court, which is something that you're going to see a lot more of from the Kings throughout this quarter, and the Warriors make them pay as they usually do. And then this play happens. Now, at the time, they called this a flop, which I disagreed with, because I don't think that in a situation where there's this much contact, there should not be a flopping call, and that's exactly what they did. They went back and reviewed it, and they took the flop call away, so no technical free throw. However, in doing so, they also decided to take the 3 points away that Moses Moody made. I'm trying not to wrap my head around that too much, because that is not where the Warriors lost this game. So fast forward a few minutes, you get another Moses Moody corner 3, but Sacramento still is just refusing to go away. And then you have Corey Joseph subbing in for Stephen Curry with 6 minutes left. Now, Steph he finished the game with 37 minutes played, and so I'm not entirely against him being subbed out at this point in the game. However, as I said in a previous video, Corey Joseph should not be getting minutes in the year 2023 of our Lord. Chris Paul had left the game with injury, and so you have a limited number of point guards you can run, but at the same time, you also have Brandon Pajimski, who has been a clear positive in nearly every minute that he's played this season, and also someone that Kerr has said would play every single game after the Phoenix game, where he played nearly the entire second half and was a clear positive. But I digress. Maybe Corey Joseph can make an immediate impact.
Here's the backup point guard. 4 to shoot, 3 to shoot. Joseph puts it up. It's blocked by Monk. Up ahead.
And so just to sum it up, you have Steph Curry being benched for Corey Joseph, even though Steph was consistently creating wide open shots just by being on the court, because they were trapping him at mid-court every play. The fact that you're getting open looks like this is really good. You just need to be able to catch those in. Then you have this Klay Thompson pull-up 3 in transition, trying to get himself going once again. As shown at the start of the video, he is very clearly being bothered by a lot of the chatter surrounding him this season, as evident by the reporter not even mentioning him or Wiggins being benched, but he felt the need to bring it up. And so that's just proof that he has been seeing the chatter and he has been thinking about it a lot, even though, like, I don't know why he does this sometimes. He's very clearly being bothered by it, no matter how much he says he isn't. And it's been very strange to see, because even though it feels like he's been shooting like absolute trash to start the year, and from the eye test, maybe he is, but he's still shooting 37% from 3. Like, that's really good for a lot of players. Obviously, with the standard that Klay Thompson is held to, that is not where you want him to be, but it's not this like crazy, 28% that you would think that he's probably shooting right now. All he needs to do is just get rid of shots like these, unless he is absolutely on fire. That's it. That's all he needs to do, because he's getting enough good looks in the flow of the offense to be able to turn his shooting around. But he insists on taking heat check shots when he's not even hot. But I digress again. We move on to Moses Moody hitting back-to-back threes to give himself 11 points in the fourth quarter on 4 for 4 from the field. And so what happens immediately after this? Yep, he gets subbed out. I can understand wanting to go with your 5 to end the game. However, it directly goes against what you've said in the past, in that if guys are contributing, then they've earned the right to play. Moses Moody has been contributing on this team for the last 2.5 seasons, and yet he still has possibly the shortest leash on the team. I don't know what is going on. I don't know why they don't like this dude. And this is something that I've been saying since last season, because it doesn't make any sense. Why does Moses Moody still have to earn every minute of playing time that he gets? And there are going to be people saying, oh, they should have benched Klay. My opinion is that you take probably Kevon Looney out the closing lineup, and you go small ball with Dre at the 5, Wiggs at the 4, Klay at the 3, Moses at the 2, and Steph at the 1. That's personally what I would have done. Obviously, I am not in the position that Steve Kerr is in, and I don't know as much basketball, but I feel like that should have been fairly obvious given his philosophy in the past. But then again, this is the same coach that has contradicted himself so many times in the last few seasons. Just for example, after this game against Indiana a couple seasons ago, he said that he would always foul up 3, and then this happens literally 2 weeks ago. And so I don't know what's going on here. But we move forward to another decision. So Steph comes off of a screen and attempts this 3-pointer, on which they call an offensive foul. Now, the Warriors at this point have 1 timeout left, and Steve Kerr decides to use his last timeout to challenge this call. You could definitely say that his landing space is getting taken away here, but the offensive foul occurs before that happens, and Steph kicks out almost 90 degrees. And I mean, it's Steph, so there's no universe where this challenge goes well. So I don't know why they had decided on this call to challenge instead of the handful of questionable calls up until that point, but they lose their challenge, they lose their last timeout. But all is not lost, because they still hold a 6-point lead with 1.5 minutes left. Draymond Green comes down to help off of this pick and roll, presumably because he thought that Kevon Looney wouldn't be able to recover in time, and so that's an easy kick to the corner that leaves Wiggins having to cover 2, and he is unable to do so because he needs to hard close out to Sasha Vezenkov, who is a lethal knockdown shooter, and so that leaves De'Aaron Fox wide open, and it's a 3-point game. Fast forward to the next possession, where Draymond Green has a wide open shot, he misses. Andrew Wiggins has a great rebound and tip for his 29th point of the game. 5-point lead. De'Aaron Fox draws another foul, hits 1 of 2. Stephen Curry is trapped in the backcourt, throws one of the worst passes that he's thrown all season, which then leads to scramble defense, which then leads to this Malik Monk corner 3. 1-point game. Fast forward to the very next play. All of this is back to back to back. Draymond Green is pushing the ball, presumably because he had the point differential in mind for the in-season tournament. They tried to run a backdoor cut with Klay Thompson, but Klay wasn't on the same page, because I've seen people try to blame Klay for not cutting here because he quote-unquote would have had an open layup. Domantas Sabonis is right here, so I don't know what that's all about. But Draymond Green thinks that Klay is going to cut. He doesn't. He passes, and the ball flies out of bounds. They both seem cool. They high-five high-five after the play. They understand what just happened. It was just another mistake by Draymond Green in a quarter full of them. He got a tech earlier in the quarter for wanting a carry to be called and doing a gesture, a carry gesture, and he gets a tech for this. Now, I'm not understanding why this is a tech. This is something that multiple players do multiple times a game on any given night, so I don't know. However, the next call is just comical because there's just no reason for this. Why is he trying to do this? That gave Sacramento even more momentum than they already had, and now fast forward back to where we are. Malik Monk takes Andrew Wiggins off the dribble. Shot clock is winding down. Andrew Wiggins has 5 fouls. He plays the best possible defense that you can play on this possession, and Malik Monk makes some bullshit. Like, there's actually, believe it or not, a part of me that's glad that the shot went in, because I think it finally showed them that they can't keep doing this and getting away with it. They were able to get away with games like this a couple times against this team. In game 4 of last season, when Harrison Barnes missed the game-winning 3, that was of course the game when Steph called a timeout when they didn't have any. They gave Sacramento an extra possession that they shouldn't have gotten. De'Aaron Fox hits a 3. You guys know what happens next. And then the other game earlier this season in which Klay Thompson hit the game winner in a game that shouldn't have been this close because De'Aaron Fox was out. So in a way, I'm glad that it finally caught up to them and they finally realized, oh my God, we cannot be doing this anymore. Now, is that something that's going through their minds right now? I have no idea, but I know that the loss itself is going to be in their heads for a long time, probably. It should be interesting to see how they respond to this, although they are going to have to do so now without GP2 for the foreseeable future, with a torn right calf, by the way, and without Chris Paul for who knows how long with nerve issues. So the way I see it, this is either the most important loss of the season for this team, or it is the loss that just completely defeats them. And I don't want to believe that the second option is what's happening, because at the end of the day, this core is 4-time champions. They've seen every single situation possible. They've lost a game in every single way imaginable. It's definitely something that is going to be in their minds for a long time throughout the season, because as I said before, they have already lost a couple of games that they should have won before this, mainly the OKC game at home where they were up 18 in the third quarter and lost in overtime. Steve Kerr, I have no idea whether he will learn from this or whether Moses Moody is going to get a DNP next game. I mean, Corey Joseph is probably going to play 12-15 minutes next game anyway, so what am I even talking about here? Like, as you can see, like, I'm kind of done with this whole situation, because this is just something that he's been doing for as long as I can remember. Most notably, he was playing Chris Chiozza. I know that that's a name that a lot of you guys will remember if you've been a fan for that long. At the end of the day, this is the guy that played Anderson Varejao in a finals game 7. This is the guy that played Anthony Lamb for 60 games, and now he's doing it again with Corey Joseph and Moses Moody. Steve Kerr has that to work out. Klay Thompson has some demons he needs to exercise. Draymond Green needs to tighten up, because he's part of the reason that the Warriors are even in the situation that they're in the first place. And Steph needs to take on perhaps an even bigger leadership role than he's already been doing, because this team needs to get the message that, I mean, it's no secret their time is running out. Not just this season, but just in general, this core, their time is running out, and we all know this. I feel like that is the main thing that everybody on the team needs to understand, is that you're not gonna get many more chances, if any, after this season. And so anything that needs to be done to turn this team around to win, I don't know, man. That's all I got. I can't believe what I just watched. Even taking a full day to kind of dissect what happened in my head, I still have no idea what just happened. I have no idea what this means for this team. I hate bringing this up, but they looked so good to start the year, even with multiple players not being able to hit open shots. And now they look like this, and they have 2 key players out. I don't know where this team goes. I still am not on the side of there needs to be a trade, but definitely getting closer to that. But that's about it from me. I've been rambling for 33 minutes, even though this video is obviously not going to be that long. But with all that being said, I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Subscribe if you're new. Hit the bell to be notified when I upload. Comment down below what you want to see next. And as always, I'll see you guys in the next one.